Fast. It's great to be here in Valencia. Thanks for having me. I suppose this is a creative session, so I'm talking about creativity. I think we ought to talk about, first of all, in times like these, the essence of what creatives at agencies ought to be thinking. I'm sorry, that's from an old presentation. What I want to talk about is using imagination instead of money, because there isn't any money left. This is roughly what the Dow looked like up until a couple of weeks ago. And for everyone who's out saying, okay, well, that serves you greedy, Ponzi, scheming Americans, right? That's what the FTSE looks like, and the Bourse, and all the rest of them will look about the same. These are interesting times. And I think a lot of people have been talking about, okay, what do we do with your corporation to get you through these times? And I think it's important. I want to talk just for 1 second about what do you do individually as a person who works in this media world or advertising world. What do you do to get through these times? And luckily, I know the answer. It's tried and proven it works. So what everyone's talking about is everyone's got to be more flexible and more nimble, more cost-effective, and these are no secrets. Everybody knows it. What I want to talk about is a couple of things that we've done in our agency that I think have actually stretched dollars and euros and stuff like that. One is we're trying harder than ever to swim upstream, and by that I mean we're trying to get closer to the product. And I think it's important in times like these for agencies or for creative people to get closer to products. Products are always, when we used to have Mini, we introduced Mini Cooper to the U.S., and I can remember Alex and Bogusky and I were talking one time, and we did some pretty good ads, but we were saying, no matter how good our advertising is, Minis are still cooler than our ads. The reality is products are far more important in creating an ethos for a brand than any advertising we do. So we're trying to get more and more involved, and I want to show you one example. This is for Burger King. Burger King is a great client, and they're very, very receptive. So this is a product that Burger King introduced that was actually concepted by a creative director in our agency, because it came from the fact that most people in the U.S., when they're going to Burger King, or significant percentage of people who go to Burger King, are eating in their cars. So we try to develop a product, and it's called a chicken fry, and it's something you can eat in your car. So when we wanted to introduce it, we thought, okay, it's about driving, it's about eating in your car. Why don't we partner with NASCAR, which is the biggest spectator sport in the U.S.? So this is the commercial we made.
Back in the early days, they used to hand me the whole chicken on a pole.
You see how we put this chicken on that pole? They'd run that car in there, just stick that chicken right in there in your face.
Then they came up with a drumstick. You get the grease all over your hands, it goes right to the steering wheel. Well, then they incorporated the chicken sandwich, and that didn't work out at all. Now they've got the chicken fries, all white meat, streamlined for high-speed consumption. You got to feed the need for chicken fries.
Now, there's supposed to be a slide that comes before this that says buy unzappable media. It's coming later in the presentation because, I don't know, my assistant screwed up. But in any event, it says buy unzappable media. And a lot of people have been talking about like product placement and content, branded content and stuff like that. I think there are still a few people who are doing it really, really well. A lot of people who are doing it really, really badly. Last year in Venice, I showed a piece from 30 Rock because I think they do it the best. And this is what they did this season. And this is what they...
Verizon wireless phones are just so popular, I accidentally grabbed one belonging to an acquaintance.
Well, sure, because that Verizon wireless service is just unbeatable. I mean, if I saw a phone like that on TV, I would be like, where is my nearest retailer so I can get one? Can we have our money now?
The other thing I want to talk about is don't be afraid to cheat. Anyway, I think in times like these, when I'm talking about cheating, I'm talking about using equity that the brand has right now. And I think it's important for brands to look at their past, to look at where they really stand with their audience right now. I think it's more important than ever to talk to your audience. And I think it's a better time than ever to use the brand equities you have. And I think I can go backwards here. Coke Zero is one of our clients. We've created these characters who are Coke brand managers, and they sue Coke Zero for stealing their taste. So we had these two guys, and we had some equity in these two guys. And the other thing we had was an old Coca-Cola spot that was done a long time ago called Mean Joe Green, which is one of the most famous Super Bowl spots ever done. And it's interesting because when you talk to the audience today, people who were 4 years old when this spot came out know this spot. So based on the kind of the brand equity that we had in these two things, we created this spot for this year's Super Bowl.
Mr. Palomalo?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
You want my Coke Zero?
Nah.
Really? You can have it. A Coke Zero and
Okay.
a smile.
We're Coke brand managers.
Coke Zero stole our taste, and they are not stealing our commercial.
Hey, that was for me. Is he coming? Is he coming?
Coke Zero has a light. Have a Coke
Hey, kid.
Zero and a smile.
Pass.
So all of this stuff is what you expect to hear from me. It's like, oh, do cooler creative and stuff like that. But maybe what you don't expect to hear is that I really don't believe that this particular revolution is about writers and art directors. I think what's really going on here is that organizations, certainly organizations like ours and probably organizations like yours, are going to need to energize and give authorization to everybody to think outside of the box. And we're trying really, really hard to do that. And amazing things are happening. We're asking people who aren't normally, I guess, asked to think creatively. And number one, they're amazing us with some of the ideas they're coming back with. And number two, they are so happy. IT, for example. When we went to IT to ask them to solve a problem, it was sort of interesting. It's for a client of ours, Domino's, and Domino's brand promises, you don't really have to move, we'll bring you food. And this is, I don't mean to denigrate their customers, but let's face it. So these are people who don't really want to actually maybe even get up and make a phone call. So we said to our people in technology, help us figure out a way to make it easier for people to order Domino's pizza. And so they came up with the first ever technology that in the US it's TiVo, and it's got different names, but it's your DVR, your recorder on your recorder box, to actually order from that. And we're testing it in markets right now, and it's blowing the charts out. People can actually order from it. You can see the time going by on the bottom of your screen if you want to while you're watching a movie. This came from IT. And of course, we have to do commercials, so this is the commercial we did sort of around it.
Hey, honey. The Domino's lady just said we've got 30 minutes. You think what I'm thinking?
What are we going to do with the other 28 minutes?
Domino's, you got 30 minutes. Here it comes. Another killer deal from Domino's. You got it.
Another place, and I'm serious about this, that I think creative thinking is going to come from is finance. Now, there's bad creative finance, but I think good creative finance. I think right now equities are cheap, generally speaking. Equities are comparatively cheap, and money is valuable. So I think smart marketers are going to figure out ways to partner with their agencies in ways they haven't done it before in terms of sharing risks and rewards. I think that performance-based compensation is going to become much more important. I think maybe some equity sharing schemes are going to become much more important, and I think it's going to be very good because it's going to put clients and agencies, whether media agencies or creative agencies, on the same page with the same goals and the same incentives, and that creates better work. And I think that is going to be a significant part of what we see through this. And the other one is, of course, which everybody knows, there's going to be a huge move to digital. It's already happening. This is maybe the case history for it, certainly in the U.S. The Obama campaign created a affinity group of 13 million people online. It was astonishing. They raised over $300 million online. It was astonishing, and everybody already knows that. But here's what everybody doesn't know. What did he do with that money? What he did with the money is bought TV spots. He spent over $200 million on TV spots. He spent more than twice as much as any other candidate. And these people measure every night. They poll every night. They know better probably than any of us what's working and what's working right now. And what they spent their money on is TV. And I think what that says is TV has a long way to go before it's going to be dead. And so I guess to sort of honor that, Hulu, people have talked about Hulu here today. Hulu happens to be a client of ours. Hulu is on-demand TV with great content. And this is the first spot we did for Hulu.
You know, they say TV will rot your brain. That's absurd. TV only softens the brain like a ripe banana. To take it all the way, we've created Hulu. Hulu beams TV directly to your portable computing devices anytime, anywhere, for free. And once your brains are reduced to a cottage cheese-like mush, we'll scoop them out and gobble them up. Because we're aliens. And that's how we roll. Hulu, an evil plot to destroy the world. Enjoy.
Thanks.